Montana Congressman Troy Downing serving on the House Financial Services Committee and the House Small Business Committee, also a U.S. Air Force veteran. Congressman, thank you for your service and thank you for your time. So we're listening to that press briefing. I imagine you saw it as well. After nearly 5 years, the suspect is in custody, which is a big step forward. What remaining questions would you have this hour about this overall investigation and maybe why it took so long and the suspect in general?
I think that is the question. I mean, first of all, kudos to Patel and Bondi and the people who work for them for uncovering this. But we're going almost 5 years with no new evidence, just actually good old-fashioned police work to figure this out. So that begs the question: why was there either no desire or no competence for being able to do this before? I mean, that's the looming question: is how can this data that they used with, like I said, no new evidence, no new data. How was this not processed before? Was that intentional or was that incompetence? I think that's the number one question right there.
And the priorities shifted a bit too. I want to go back to the press briefing with you. We'll show you FBI Director Kash Patel really about this conversation here, the steps that were taken to reverse what they call the negligence of the Biden administration in the investigation of this specific case.
What we did, an investigation spearheaded by the deputy director and the ADIC of our Washington field office, brought in a new team of investigators and experts, re-examined every piece of evidence, sifted through all the data, something that the prior administration refused and failed to do. As a result of that, we generated numerous investigative leads, executed multiple legal process with our U.S. attorney partners, and came to this conclusion today.
And obviously, you agree with that sentiment, as you explained in your initial answer there. But it was both Pam Bondi and Kash Patel inferring that the case should have been solved long ago by the Biden administration. Obviously, it was not, but they had to bring in an entire new team. When you hear that, what goes through your mind?
Well, I mean, sometimes I will give a little grace here. Sometimes having fresh eyes on an issue help uncover things that may have not been obvious before. But again, I go to my original statement of what was the Biden administration's intent? What was the previous, DOJ and FBI? Were they trying to sweep this under the rug for some reason, or were they just negligent or incompetent? I mean, that's the big question we have right here. I mean, I fully support and believe what Director Patel just said in that interview.
Yeah, it could have been solved if they had the exact evidence, and I'm just going off of what is released by, obviously, the DOJ and the FBI, but if they tell you they had the information, they had the facts, they had the evidence already, why didn't they close the case? What stopped them from shutting this case? You would assume an administration, a DOJ official would want to do that. We'll wait for more answers.
I want to say, thank God we do have a suspect there now, so we can actually bring justice forth. Because think of what would have happened had that person been able to succeed. And I guess the next questions we need to be asking is, was there intent to do something again?
Yep. No, great question. Great question. In terms of how this is being reported, I wanted to show you an opinion piece by USA Today, taking that good news that we're talking about, suspect in custody, but they spun it to criticize FBI Director Kash Patel and Deputy Director Dan Bongino of the FBI. Here's a part of the article. Patel and Bongino have been pushing claims for years without offering any evidence that the FBI knew exactly who placed the bombs and that it was either some anti-Trump activist or an inside job by government agents. If the FBI were covering this all up, they've been in charge of the agency for nearly a year now. Why so slow on the job, fellas, when you knew all along how the pieces of this puzzle fit together? All right, that's USA Today. Your reaction, Congressman?
Well, I mean, obviously this has been a long, drawn-out thing, and I'm not going to second-guess what happened to get to the final conclusion here. But I'm just going to say I think that our current administration is doing a good job at actually, closing the ends here. And I will just say sometimes, you get these little conspiracy pieces and, who was doing it, why, and sometimes you actually get to the facts, and justice is hopefully served in this case.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.